What does motorcycle riding mean to me? To me, it's an escape, I guess. I'd call it a passion, almost an obsession. Usually I'm in a small group, sometimes by myself, but usually in a small group. So, you know, it's just a bunch of blokes out doing blokey things. And at the end of the ride, at the end of the day, it's usually a couple of drinks around a campfire, a bit of banter, an early night's sleep, get up the following morning and do it all again. So it's just a form of relaxation and allows me to get out and see parts of Australia that I haven't seen before. My father introduced me to motorcycling, dear old Dad. He bought me my first motorbike when I was 12. Although Dad had motorcycles all throughout his adult life, he vowed that we would never get our motorcycle licence to ride on the road because he saw a motorcyclist fatally killed just before I turned 17, and for some reason that changed, and I got my motorcycle licence at 17. I had motorbikes right up until even after I got married. Things changed. Typically blokes like me, you get married, you have children, you get a mortgage, and you know, you've got to make sacrifices, so usually the bike's the first thing to go. But then later in life I found that all the ducks lined up, the kids were off my hands, and I got back into motorcycling again. The reason I started posting videos on YouTube is I was actually trying to research a particular journey that I had planned. I struggled to find information about it, so what I thought was, well, if I document my journey and post it on YouTube, then perhaps guys in a similar situation who were researching their own trip might be able to use that to gain some information. Well, it's coming towards the end of the third day. I've got about 30 minutes of sunlight left. I'm trying to find a bush camp, and I'm thankful that I brought the lighter bike this time because some of the conditions are quite soft, quite sandy, and the lighter bike just makes it a whole lot easier. And from there it just started to snowball, and now I've got a small following of people who regularly like to view my videos as I upload them. You know what, it's not so much about the days. Some of the most special times can be the nights. You stand with your back to the fire for the warmth and you gaze skywards and you see some of the night skies that I've seen. I think the brightest night skies I've ever seen have been in the Northern Territory, and it's times like that you look skyward and just realise how big the universe is. It makes you feel pretty insignificant sometimes. I think the other attraction with motorcycling is just the camaraderie and the friendships and the mates that you meet and keep for many, many years. The other advantage of knocking around with a small group is that a lot of the blokes have got their own ideas on where they'd like to go and what they'd like to see. So it makes for a variety of roads and tracks that you take, and you get to go to places you ordinarily wouldn't think of or ordinarily wouldn't go. What's next? There's still parts of Australia I haven't seen. So while there's still parts of Australia I haven't seen, that's enough motive to get off the lounge and go and see it. Do I think I'll ever stop motorbike riding? Do you know what? I think I will always own a dual sport motorbike, and I'll just have to become more selective on where I take it, instead of taking it on gnarly twin track or single track and try and climb hills that I shouldn't be climbing. Failing that, I'll get a trike and stick knobby tyres on it and use that. At least I can't fall off it. the obsession with motorbike riding? Why does a dog hang its head out the car? If I had to explain it to you, you probably wouldn't understand.